as it was written in one of Stephen King's books, you will rot too. No, actually, it was a different phrase. It was you will float too. And I'm not even sure it was written in the book. Maybe it was just in the movie. But I just feel like starting with a stupid joke. Moin moin, dear people, old, new, my friends, the friends of my friends, my relatives, and anyone in the world who found this channel and who thought that the topics I'm talking about might be interesting for them. My name is Anna of Northern Germany, a survivor, a fighter, a writer, and on this channel I talk about writing because I'm an aspiring author, about reading and books because I am in love with literature, especially English literature. Also, I talk about mental health because I was diagnosed with depression some time ago. And about politics, but not too much because it's not super good for my mental health, but generally I cannot shut up. So I also talk about politics, and I also have very strong opinions. And today, the topic, I think it's planned more like the stream or the scream of consciousness, as I named it. And today I just felt like talking about the topic that is being extremely popular, hot these days on the internet, and recently people became aware that we are all brain rotting, that we are all stuck online, that we are all wasting our times on doom scrolling, etc. And I just wanted to talk about it from the point of view of a person who did that long before long before that it even became a thing, because I have generalized anxiety disorder, and yeah, I was diagnosed with depression. I am in a remission for 2-ish years, and sometimes it's still difficult for me to cope with it, so to say. And the main message of this video is that, of course, of course, doom scrolling is unhealthy. But at the same time, before you resort to all these wonderful hobbies, wonderful analog hobbies, which are amazing, which are great, which are much better than doom scrolling, I still want you to question what is hidden behind that, because generally doom scrolling is a coping mechanism, and you have to understand what you are coping with. And yeah, I will just remind you of my story if you had watched me before, or I'll just tell my story if you didn't, and also what what are my results currently for today. And yeah, I just hope I will inspire you to, you know, bring some awareness to your mental health, and not just, you know, watch all those videos blindly and like trying on hobbies, but understanding how to do it maybe in a better way. Yeah. So let's start. If you had watched my channel before, you know that I am a refugee. I'm a recognized refugee since 2024. Yes, it was so long ago. And I live in Germany. I am a Navalny supporter. Alexei Navalny unfortunately died in 2024, which hit me twice as much. I'm also quite a compassionate person. Also, I have very, I cannot say unstable nervous system, but my nervous system is very easily triggered. Plus, my background is Russia, and I come from Russia, and since I come from Russia, I also come from the environment. If you hear my neighbors during the music hour, probably you do. I'm sorry. The weather is super nice, but I want to keep the door open, and it's already plus 18. It was plus 18 yesterday. Today it's going to be even more, and I already felt how my face was burning. So I'm not a big fan of summer, but okay. And the thing is, with my background in the environment I'm coming from, there is no such thing as enough. And I was born basically, if not to lead the rat race, but to be one of the leaders of the rat race. Because since school, I was constantly told that I could do better. And I could never understand what exactly it is to do better, because I already was performing on my limits, because the place from where I come from wasn't the happiest, wasn't the healthiest mentally, and also from the alcohol point of view. And I was born with anxiety, and probably my anxiety was born before me. And yeah, so it was always what else I can do to do better. And it chases me up till today, because in everything that I do, I have to perform. And it's in my writing, so in everything that I feel joy. So I have to press the brakes artificially, because otherwise I don't really distinguish between the good state when my mind is in the flow for creating and for writing, and the state when I just push for the pushing. And it's not even that, because my creativity is my development and my love, my hopes, my everything. But it's also with my hobbies, which I do just for the pure joy. For example, reading. I cannot just read. I have to also perform in reading, like that guy Stahanov, as a historic figure from the USSR, who performed like very high results in his work, and at the factory where he worked, if he had worked in this factory, for this factory, because probably this person didn't even exist. Probably this person contained like several people in himself, and it doesn't matter. But I really have to unlearn how not to do everything for the bare sake of performance, because the joy, the pleasure, the enjoyment for me are like second track. And also at the same time, I am a person who is very self-demanding. I demand a lot from myself, and you wouldn't want to work for me because I am super demanding. I would squeeze all the juices from the poor person, but at the same time, working with me when I'm not like the boss, it's very convenient, because usually I rake all the responsibilities to myself. I am notorious for not being able to share the responsibilities, and oh my god, I am my grandma. And I'm also a control freak. I also have, like, you know, the standards of the life. Like, I have my standard is Alexei Navalny, and I really don't want to be the person who passes by if something happens, and it leads to certain funny stories. Like, I have a TikTok, and on my TikTok you can find the videos, like 2 videos in which I elaborate on the topic how I fought with a guy on the bus because he abused a girl. It's not like, it's very ambiguous. It's very two-sided. I'm not proud of myself. But yeah, it is what it is. And also when something happens, such as like last weekend, I was walking home from the garden center and I stopped to watch ducks. What can be difficult, can be stressful in watching ducks, a family of ducks. I discovered that there was a duckling who was stuck in this restricted area of this puddle water reserve. It's definitely not a lake or anything. And I was just standing there, like, contemplating, considering the possibility of saving the duckling, but I just left, and I'm nagging myself for that still, that I passed by. Also, to that, to add up to that, I fight constantly with everything, although there is no need to fight anymore. My basic needs are covered, and also I'm not at the age of being kicked out of the country, and yeah, so there is nothing going on, but still I'm ready to fight. And I also work at a school for kids with special needs. Yes, also that. And also there, if something happens, because sometimes our kids, like, you can imagine, like a kid with special needs who is like twice as tall as you is running to the door and, like, sweeping everything from his path. I will be the one who will be chasing after this child, no matter what consequences I will fall. And we even talked with my psychologist about that once. And I said that in these situations, I'm really worried about my workers, about my colleagues, yeah, also, and about my children and the school. Because if they get hurt, I failed. But if I am hurt, it's okay because I'm hurt. Yeah, as you can see, as I always say on this channel, it's hard to be me. And thus, I'm prone to unhealthy coping mechanisms. And I use these coping mechanisms since I don't know when. Since I was still little, I was like not alone at home, but I was alone at home, if you understand what I mean. And I spent hours watching, I don't know, the television, not propaganda, fortunately. If I watched propaganda, I wouldn't be here where I am. But I watched basically everything that I bumped into, any cartoon, any show. And yeah, really, I watched anything just for me, not being able to sit with this discomfort, with this discomfort. And I also spent a lot of time in my head fantasizing, because also I'm a writer, so you can imagine I have something to fantasize. And I lived in these plot lines rather than in the real life, because the real life was too harsh for me. And sometimes it led to like unpleasant consequences. For example, I was just walking to school, and my school was 25 minutes away from my home, and it was slippery, and I was plotting something in my head to escape from the hostile world, and I just slipped and I hit my bone. What it is called? I forgot the name. Okay, I will write it here. I forgot the name of the bone. Sorry. I'm an Auslander. Huh? And this is generally, at least what I believe, this is where the brain rot comes from. It's not that everything is fine, the sun is shining, you are super satisfied with your work, you have the healthiest relationships with everyone in the world, your family, your partner, your dog, whoever, and you still need to doom scroll. Because I also wrote an article about it some time ago. It was also based on the video by Book Leo, because she made an amazing video about the statistics, about doom scrolling, but it was quite an old video. It was not a new one. It was an old video, and it was amazing. I still believe it is amazing because, yes, unfortunately, the truth is that we live in this digital world and we cannot really escape from this digital world. Many people work online or we communicate online. My friends, like the majority of my friends, they are away from me. And to connect with them, I have to use messengers that are blocked in Russia, for example. You see, I cannot shut up about politics. It always just, bumps up, pops up unexpectedly. And I also, it's the modern way of, it's a modern way to converse, to send some memes, to send some reels, TikToks to your friends. And this is how you reconnect. I don't really believe that we can escape from that because it's our reality. And also, yes, of course, when you are tired and overwhelmed, you need something that you don't want to think a lot. You just want to lie down and to doom scroll. And I don't really see big problem in that if even an hour a week in your life you just spend like brain dead scrolling, because it might also be useful sometimes not to perform, not to overachieve, not to overdo. But the problem is that we never stop, right? Because we always do that till the very last moment when your eyes hurt, your head hurts, and you are overstimulated, overstimulated, and being overstimulated is also like the trend these days. Even my favorite yoga teacher, Adrienne, she even published recently, she even published yoga recently, yoga for being overstimulated. And yes, I think the main thing is not that you should artificially force yourself to put your phone away, be offline for a week, because it's hard. Even for my work, for example, sometimes I need to stay connected, to be aware what is going on, what's the latest news at my work. And you just cannot escape that. It's just our reality. But creating some mechanisms to stop would be great. And here, if we talk about analog hobbies, they are great because if you are hyped enough to do this instead of doom scrolling, it's of course amazing. But you have to pay attention to what exactly you're doing, because sometimes you take one unhealthy coping mechanism and replace it with another. For example, you can do your analog hobby, I don't know, crocheting, but you do that and you still watch something on the background. For example, I constantly do that. Whatever analog hobby I use, I often tend to still have this humming in my head, which I need to muffle with the help of some random YouTube video. And one thing, when you watch a random YouTube video or your favorite creator, for example, because your favorite creator might be super inspiring, but they don't publish videos daily, thanks God. They must not, they shouldn't, because the quality would be very low. But when you start just searching for any podcast on the background, for any even music on the background, it's still the same coping mechanism. You are still not present, because it's also what people talk about a lot these days, grounding. You're still not grounding. you're still not grounded, you're still not here. And this is what I have to work a lot to bring myself to the real moment. And currently the motorbike is bringing me to the real moments. They're so annoying. As soon as it gets warmer, they are outside and they're doing this vroom, vroom, vroom. So annoying. Oh my god. The main message of this video is that getting rid of doom scrolling is extremely good, but you need to work out a concept and you need to notice what is going on in life, in the real life around you, what might lead you to doom scrolling, what you are running from. You have to adjust in many areas of your life, in your work life, in your sports life, in your art life, in your love. And you have to understand, like, there are things, if you push yourself to do these things constantly, if you have to push yourself, do you really love doing them? Do you really need to do them? Because sometimes we just do things for the sake of, I don't know, success, because yeah, for everyone success is different, but we just do that because someone had told us that to succeed in life we need to do that, for example. And you also might look it might be useful to look everything that you even love, what is this your approach? How do you approach the things you love? Because I really have to press the brakes, as I had already said. And recently I really work on me, like, on improving my mental state, because I wasn't doing super great in the past months, because I worked, and also starting from May I work even more hours, and also at the same time I had high expectations from myself that I need to write for 2 hours before work, and then I need to write till dinner after work, and I have to be extremely productive and produce content, and also produce TikToks, because my friend recommended me to try the TikTok out, and she told me that I necessarily have to publish a TikTok per day. Why? Because, and for the algorithms to recognize you, although yeah, I have a personal content and I am a persona, and for a persona it's difficult to get through the algorithms even if you publish every hour, I believe. So if you're also like this, I suggest leaving yourself alone. And I decided that I finally will produce less content, and I feel much better right now. I produce 1 video in 2 weeks and 3 TikToks per week, and it's not super difficult for me because usually I film like several TikToks together, and I can just schedule them for publishing. And yeah, I do a lot of work recently on removing all these toxic expectations from my work, and I have to adapt, like, to my writing. For example, I love writing. I want to become an author, a published author, and I have a novel which is currently being read by my friends, and I expect that they will still have to do a lot of work after the proofreading by my friends is finished, and I will have to rewrite a lot, possibly, because it's quite a personal story, and I want to make it more of a novel, and I want to keep the distance from the character. And also I just have to come to terms personally with the fact that I will never be that person who writes during the night and then during the morning and then in the morning and then gets up and goes to work and everything is fine. And I'm a person, I'm alive, I need to sleep, I need to eat, I have tendencies for to headaches, and I'm not as energetic as a person of my age would be, because I had seen a lot. And yeah, I have to learn to find freedom in my restrictions, and accepting that already helps. Also, I really have to let go. I'm learning to let go, and it sounds stupid because for many people, oh, it's just easy peasy, but for me, not. I tend to hook on situations, chew on them in my head, savor them when probably I shouldn't. I don't know, generally, for me, not to resort to doom scrolling every 3 seconds. I just have to let myself breathe, and currently I slow down. I have to slow down. I recently read more modern literature, and more literature written by women, because I started the year with the Ulysses, which is still going. I'm still reading the Ulysses, but it will take a lot of time, and more time than I had expected. Again, removing the expectations, because if it's only 1 hour which I can spend on the Ulysses in the healthy way, not feeling pissed or all overwhelmed or whatever, it is what it is. I have to accept that. But for the pure sake of enjoyment, I read modern literature written by women. I'm also very tired of male literature recently, because I don't know, it's just annoying how they just were healthy or were wealthy by birth, and they married well, and their wives typed their works, and they were relieved of the household burden, etc., and they created their genius novels. I just cannot stand it right now. I just want to take a break from male writing. Male classical writing. Let's put it better in a better way. And also, like, really, it sounds stupid, but I have to learn how to notice the moment when I stop enjoying myself, and realize when I start pushing just for pushing, not for enjoying, because sometimes pushing is good. This is how I had achieved a lot. This is how I learned English, for example, because in my environment, the chances that I would learn English or any other language were like 0.00000. But I did that because I'm extremely stubborn. But sometimes you don't need this push if you enjoy your reading, for example, or if you write because this is what you do for pleasure. And also, I recently come to terms with the fact that earning with your creativity is very difficult. Earning money, I mean, obviously. And I'm learning to enjoy the freedom, because if I don't earn money from my creativity, it's also that I'm free to do whatever I want, basically. I don't have to dance and entertain and do stuff that I don't enjoy, because many creators, unfortunately, they have to do that because their salary depends on that. My salary depends on if the kids make it home happy and healthy, and I hope I do my job well. Also, the advice for me and for you, if you have the issue with the doom scrolling, say hi to the dog of my neighbors, the Cerberus. Don't get a Jack Russell. Don't get a Jack Russell. Just don't ask. Just don't get a Jack Russell, okay? This is a very, very messy video, but if you're worried about doom scrolling, and if you notice high levels of anxiety, check out if it doesn't happen to you, or if maybe it happens that you create the scenarios in your head that are pretty dramatic. And in this case, it's also a pattern to unlearn. It's also what I'm doing currently, because I can sit in the plain daylight, relaxed and happy, and I can start imagining my friend dying in a car crash. I can really do that. It's just an example. And many people are also capable of that, I believe. So watch out. I recently heard that our brain doesn't really distinguish between what is happening and what is not happening currently. And of course, if you have stressed yourself like this already, if in your head your friend died, or I don't know, your house burned down to ashes, or whatever, your doggy was run by a car, so of course, it's very exhausting, and this is one of the paths that lead you to doom scrolling. Grounding, yoga always help, of course. Also, what I would wish for myself is a bit of social life. And previously, last year, I was also occupied in searching for some social life for myself. And I even gained some friends. I don't see them as often as I would want to. But the group Shut Up and Write helped me a lot. But currently, I also have a TikTok about that. Basically, we were kicked out of the library. And then we changed the place. The place demanded other times. And many people fell out, including me, because I cannot make it by that time. And then also our group leader started working, and he couldn't lead anymore. And basically shut up and write, shut up and doesn't write anymore. This is very sad. My neighbors are super loud today, so I hope you don't hear them. And I guess it's all what I had wanted to say. It's a longish video as always, but this is already the second video. The first one had been longer. I just suddenly thought that I'm not vibing with that video anymore, so I'm just refilming. Maybe it would do, but I think this one should be better. So okay, doesn't matter. So look around, pay attention to what you feel and when you feel that, and question yourself when you stretch your hand out to grab your phone. The dog. When you grab your phone, ask yourself, what are the uncomfortable feelings you are experiencing right now, or what you are running from with the help of this phone. And again, pay attention that if you try analog hobbies, that you wouldn't drag your unhealthy coping mechanisms together, because muffling your anxiety with mumbling something on the background is still the same, unfortunately. Or watching something, like binge watching something, because again, I am the queen of brain rot, and I had been doing it even before the term appeared. Yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you're having a great day, great weekend or weekday, and it's finally May, it's spring, everything is in blossom. The next video is going to be about the garden. And I thank you very much for watching it till the end. Wow, you have a lot of patience. You are amazing. So I really hope that you learned something useful for this video, or if not, you at least enjoy listening something on the background. Yeah, we all do that. We still continue doing it anyway. But maybe we should just pay attention to what we're listening to and how often and when. And yeah. And if you're interested, I have TikTok with the short format. I have Instagram. I have a Medium on which I publish articles when I have time to write articles. Also, I have buy me a coffee if you want to support me with a small donation. And I think this is all what I had wanted to say. I will be wishing you, I will be sending you the rays of sunshine or the streams of rain or streaks of rain if you prefer that, because I think I would prefer that, although a bit of sunshine is also nice. And I will be wishing you love, love, and peace, peace from Anna of Northern Germany. And see you in the next videos, hopefully. And choose